Welcome to the Western Cape Productivity Awards for 2015. The Western Cape Province is a region of majestic mountains, colourful patchworks of farmland set in lovely valleys, long beaches and, further inland, the wide-open landscape of the semi-desert Karoo. Two oceans meet on the coast of the Western Cape. The cold Atlantic Ocean is on the west, while the warmer Indian Ocean lies on the southern coast. The plankton-rich, cold Benguela Current flows along the west coast and is considered to be one of the world's richest fishing grounds. The Western Cape Province is the fourth most populated province in South Africa and contributes 14.2% to the national gross domestic product. Two-thirds of the province's population live in the Cape Town metropolitan area. The agricultural sector remains the backbone of the region and makes up for 23% of the national value economy, particularly in non-metro districts. Agriculture still dominates the export industries of the Western Cape, with a little over 47% of all export commodities being agricultural products. Exports have grown on average by 5% a year, with the province's largest export markets being European countries. One of the most important sectors is tourism, and during this current financial year, 1.3 million international visitors were welcomed to the Western Cape. Over the next 3 years, through an increased focus on international marketing initiatives, the Western Cape aims to attract 3.6 million overseas tourists. South Africa's 300-year-old wine industry produces 3.1% of the world's wine and ranks as number 9 in overall volume production. Nearly 50% of the Western Cape's quality wine production is exported. Some 75% of all South African fishing takes place along the Western Cape coastline, and snook, Cape lobster, abalone and calamari are amongst the delicacies produced in these waters. Local government is expected to play a far more important role in boosting economic growth through service delivery, better planning, regulation and enforcement. Economic growth is a prerequisite for boosting job creation, social attributes and improved standards of living, and improved human well-being. However, the quality of growth must foster environmental sustainability and social benefit in the long term. The Western Cape government has invested in several initiatives to assist aspirant business people to increase their competitiveness and productivity. These include an enterprise development fund, which grants financial support to emerging businesses, and a partner network, which has provided business advice to just under 30,000 entrepreneurs in Mitchell's Plain, Philippi and Khayelitsha, amongst others. Productivity South Africa is proud to introduce companies that continue to play a vital role in shaping the economic future of this province. The Regional Productivity South Africa Awards recognize the achievements in 2015 in the following 4 categories: the emerging business, cooperative, public and corporate sectors. The Productivity South Africa Regional Awards finalists in the various sector categories were judged on the following criteria. Was the impact achieved from productivity quantifiable and significant to the country, communities, organizations, divisions, or individuals? Were steps taken towards improvement and the impact clearly recorded? Has the initiative been clearly sustainable over a period of at least 18 months? To what extent has a culture focusing on productivity and ongoing improvement been developed? Is it clearly demonstrated how the initiative and its results can be transferred to other individuals, communities, or organizations, both within the same or different industry sectors? Has the initiative resulted in a competitive advantage in areas that really matter? And to what extent were staff involved? Are the benefits to employees, shareholders, customers, or communities evident? Is there evidence of any social and environmental benefit, like job creation or retaining jobs, empowerment, improved working conditions, green productivity, safety, or environmental impact? Productivity South Africa would like to thank the following individuals for their contribution to the adjudication process: Mr. Albert Brink, Productivity South Africa, Cape Town Regional Manager. Mr. Peter De Bruin, Productivity South Africa, Cape Town. Mr. John McEwen, CEO, Western Cape Tooling Initiative. Mrs. Rebecca Palazzi, Productivity South Africa, Midrand Executive Manager for Marketing and Communications. Mr. Barnes Suktu from UNISA, Member of the National Adjudicating Committee. The finalists in the emerging sector are Ricard Air Diffusion Pty Limited, Gasket and Shim Industries Pty Limited, and Uber Optical CC. Ricard Air Diffusion Pty Limited in Ottery was established in 1979 by Brian Ricard. Today, it is internationally the leading producer of variable geometry with variable air volume equipment and controls. The company markets its products in many countries around the world, resulting in the installation of its VAV equipment in such prestigious buildings as the Royal Rehabilitation Centre in Sydney, Australia, Movie City in Hong Kong, and many more. Ricard Air Diffusion implemented various productivity initiatives, such as the Cispro ERP software system to manage business processes like inventory control and materials management. In 2002, the company decided to involve shop floor employees by introducing the Track World Class program to help with training and focus on what was found to be a critical area. During 2014, the company introduced Productivity South Africa's Workplace Challenge program to raise the level of performance and look at areas like your quality, cost, speed delivery, and morale. As a result of their productivity approach over the period 2013 to 2015, turnover increased from 0.9% to 3%. Absenteeism decreased from 1.9% to 1.5%. Staff turnover ratio decreased from 12.5% to 6.3%. Net profit increased from 13% to 21%, and staff complement increased from 1 to 14 over the same period. The company has lived up to its green policy by upgrading their chemical treatment tanks, which resulted in a decreased amount of chemicals being used on a monthly basis. Ricard Air Pty Limited has adopted a best practice methodology and measure themselves against the best in the world. They are a leader in their segment and within their community as well. Gasket and Shim Industries Pty Limited, situated in Montague Gardens, was founded in 1995 following the wave of optimism created by the release of Nelson Mandela and the call for citizens to start small businesses. The company is a supplier of soft-cut components, and their products include gaskets, seals, and foam rubber parts. The company implemented cross-functional productivity teams that follow the methodology introduced by Productivity South Africa's Workplace Challenge program. During implementation of the program, the quality of raw material for a safety-critical item used in the automotive industry caused reject rates to run from 3 to over 30%. Through supplier interaction, increased inspection, and staff communication, they were able to bring the reject rate back to 3% without delivery interruptions or product returns from customers. As a result of their productivity initiatives over the period 2014-2015, annual turnover increased by 20%. Earnings before interest and taxes increased 41%. Expenses as percentage of turnover decreased from 35% to 27%. And staff cost as percentage of turnover decreased from 33% to 30%. Since 2013, the company has had a listing and annual audits with the US Food and Drug Administration. This allows food and equipment made here to be exported without the fear of cross-contamination from the gaskets. They are the only gasket company in South Africa with this prestigious rating. Gasket and Shim Industries Pty Limited's strategy and resources gives them an edge in the gasket industry, therefore making them a preferred supplier and market leader. Uber Optical CC in Maitland was established in 2009 by Peter Whitworth after spending nearly 25 years at one of the leading optical suppliers in the country. The Close Corporation is an optical wholesaler servicing the whole of South Africa and neighbouring African countries. Their main products are spectacle frames and optical sundry items. The Close Corporation is part of the distribution channel and acts as an intermediary, the pathways along which products travel from producers and manufacturers to ultimately the consumer. They use a rolling budget system to manage productivity. Each brand has sales targets that represent the minimum in order to be sustainable. Only once targets are exceeded do the sale agents receive shares. As a result of their productivity approach over the period 2012 and 2015, turnover increased from 7.9 million to 16.8 million rand. EBIT increased from 1.2 million to 2.6 million rand. And expenses as percentage of turnover decreased from 54.3% to 46.9%. Uber Optical CC is a market leader within their industry because they believe that vision is the art of seeing what is invisible to others. The finalists in the cooperative sector are Fingerprint Worker Cooperative, Shalom Designs Primary Cooperative, Park Crescent Trading Cooperative, and Murraysburg Coffin Makers Cooperative. Fingerprint Worker Cooperative Limited, situated in Elsie's River, was established in 1989 and offers services of layout and design, digital printing, litho printing, bookbinding, and distribution of products. The cooperative is democratically owned and managed by the workers. The cooperative's productivity approach is based on improvement in lead time, quality of work, and sales. Since the implementation of the estimating software program, lead time was reduced by 80%. They have continuously used their current order statistics to ensure that the raw material is always in level with the client's requirements, thereby ensuring the liquidity of cash flow and discouragement of waste. Paper needed for predictable or recurring orders is now bought in bulk, resulting in raw material savings of 5%. As a result of their sustainable productivity approach over the period 2013 to 2014, cost of sales decreased from 1.7 million to 1.1 million rand. Profit increased from 634,000 to 746,000 rand. And customer service increased from 94% to 98%. As part of their social initiatives, they've adopted Cleaning and Handyman Worker Cooperative Limited to mentor and monitor their path to a sustainable generation of income. Fingerprint Worker Cooperative has a strong leadership and is dealing with their challenges constructively, living up to their vision of service excellence through cooperation. Shalom Designs was established by Ruth Johnson, who works from her home in New Horizons, Plettenberg Bay, manufacturing clothing. The co-op was then registered in 2013 with 5 members. The cooperative manufactures tracksuits, designs formal dresses, and does any sewing needed by the community. Clients are generally members of the community and parents of children attending Plettenberg Secondary School and Formosa Primary. The strategy they apply is to improve the quality of life for its members and to transfer skills within their community. They apply the marginal productivity theory of demand, which suggests that the determinant of employing additional labor depends on the worker's marginal revenue product, the additional contribution for his or her own benefit. The cooperative operates on an order basis, where production only occurs when an order has been secured. They measure their productivity against 2 standards: agreed time to delivery and quality specifications. As a result of their productivity approach over the period 2014 to 2015, turnover increased from 27,000 rand to 54,000 rand. And expenses as a percentage of turnover decreased from 41 to 38.5%. Shalom Design's primary cooperative is a great example to show that community-based cooperatives have a place in business by providing essential products and services to the community. Park Crescent Trading Cooperative was registered as a 5-member cooperative in January 2014 and has a staff complement of 3 workers. PCT supplies high-quality brands of stationery, back-to-school requirements, computer consumables and more. They currently supply stationery and cleaning materials to the Department of Health, the Department of Education and the SAPS. The cooperative functions as a business cooperative, employs resources and skills other than that of members, and operates as a specialized organization. The strategy is to fill the requirement of small quantities through provision of products and services which are needed by the customer efficiently and in time, based on high principles of management ethics. As a result of their productivity approach, they currently have a 1.3 million rand turnover. Park Crescent Trading Cooperative established itself in a competitive environment, and their philosophy being to keep it basic has attributed to their success. Murraysburg Coffin Makers Cooperative was founded in 2009. This 5-member cooperative manufactures coffins and is based in the Karoo town of Murraysburg. The town has a massive and growing unemployment rate, especially amongst unskilled people. The members took it upon themselves to start a business that would be able to alleviate poverty and assist people in acquiring skills. A qualified carpenter and practicing coffin maker was sent from Oudtshoorn to train the members. The program was successfully completed and the members started to operate on their own. By implementing a productivity approach, the cooperative follows a labor-intensive process at all stages, from the cutting of wood to the final product, thereby reducing the cost of high-quality coffins to the community of the Greater Karoo. As a result of their productivity initiatives over the period 2014 to 2015, turnover increased from 71,000 to 108,000 rand, and EBIT increased from 46,000 to 70,000 rand. Murraysburg Coffin Makers Cooperative secured most of the work in their community, and they have expanded to neighbouring towns. In a little over 5 years, they have built a name associated with quality and timeous service in the coffin-making industry. The finalists in the public sector are Department of Environmental Affairs and Development Planning, Department of Community Safety, and the Department of Economic Development and Tourism. The Western Cape Department of Environmental Affairs and Development Planning's vision is to develop a resilient, sustainable, quality and inclusive living environment, and also actively support the goals of the National Development Plan. As a result of the legislative transformation of the spatial planning and land use management change, together with the strategic importance of the sector, the Western Cape Government's DEAP introduced the Western Cape Spatial Planning and Land Use Management Change Management Strategy and Steering Committee. 5 work groups, 1 work stream, and several task teams were established to drive the goals and objectives of the strategy. Some of the objectives and strategies entail to jointly develop and circulate a standard draft municipal land use planning bylaw for all municipalities within the Western Cape, to put in place a communication work stream in order to allow for effective, consistent and single-point communication, and to provide extensive and in-depth training sessions to municipalities, the private sector, built environment representatives and other national and provincial departments. Guidelines that otherwise were non-existent are now available for the public to use, resulting in making the application process more efficient and streamlined. The department's multi-stakeholder, intergovernmental and inclusive approach created a strong platform from which the Western Cape was able to communicate within itself. As a result of this, including the strong communication component of the strategy, it allowed for certainty, clarity and cohesiveness to prevail in the spatial planning and land use management sector. With the development of Strategic Objective 5, and in particular within Work Group 2, Civilian Oversight, new methodologies aimed at improving oversight were piloted. One such methodology was aimed at enhancing the ability of the Department of Community Safety to monitor police performance directly linked to securing successful prosecutions in gang and drug-related serious crimes, such as murder, robberies, and rape. This became known as the Watching Briefs Program and is a first ever for South Africa. It further endeavors to ensure that people are and feel safe in their homes, in their streets, and other public spaces. Inefficiencies or systemic failures identified in 144 cases included failure by the investigating officer to finalize the investigation within a reasonable time, 74 cases. Failure to have the police docket at court, 54 cases. Failure of the investigating officer to subpoena witnesses to attend court, 15 cases. And failure to comply with the instructions of the prosecutor, 1 case. During 2013-2014 and to date, the department partnered with the University of the Western Cape and monitored approximately 300, mostly murder, cases as part of the Watching Briefs. The findings of 27 cases were completed and presented in a report to the South African Police Services. This report allowed the SAPS senior management to pursue internal disciplinary processes against 19 SAPS officers who were found to be negligent in the execution of their duties. This project is institutionalized by Cabinet and is located within the Department of Community Safety. A total of 625 criminal cases were monitored. 71 cases were identified as having been scrapped from the court roll due to poor police performance. Of the 71 cases, 31, 44%, were reinstated on the court rolls, and in 28 cases, 39%, disciplinary actions were instituted against the responsible police officers. The Court Watching Briefs program has changed people's lives in the community where it matters, thereby ensuring that justice has prevailed for those who felt that the justice system had failed them. Now there is hope through the Court Watching Briefs program. The Western Cape Department of Economic Development and Tourism's vision is to have a vibrant, innovative, and sustainable economy, characterized by growth, empowerment, and increasing equity, and built on the full potential of all. The Municipal Red Tape Reduction Project was launched in the 2012-2013 financial year as part of the Western Cape Government's initiative to reduce red tape, focusing specifically on municipalities. The amount of red tape and bureaucracy faced by business when dealing with government is considered as a key constraint to economic development and growth. The project was piloted in 5 local municipalities of the Cape Winelands district in 2012-2013. Since then, the project has been rolled out in 3 local municipalities in the West Coast district, 5 local municipalities in the Eden district, and in 2 local municipalities in the Overstrand district. The Stellenbosch municipality, for example, had a reduction in time to approve applications for business licenses. The municipality embarked on a drive to improve its system for consideration and approval, and reported in the year after the intervention that the processing time had been reduced from 3 weeks to 5 working days. In each of these 15 municipalities assisted, all the blockages experienced by business were identified, and 2 processes per municipality were prioritized to be improved. This adds up to 30 processes proposed to be improved. The Department of Economic Development and Tourism is applauded for living up to their mandate to create opportunities for growth and jobs, improving the local business environment, and therefore making it easier to do business at local municipalities. The finalists in the corporate sector are K-Way Pty Limited, VV4 AgriLife Pty Limited AgriLife Fruit Project, and Blenco CC. K-Way in Ottery was founded by Mr. Philip Kravitz in 1981 to give Cape Union Mart a local manufacturing supplier and form a strategic hedge against import challenges for technical clothing, which was until that time only available from overseas suppliers. K-Way is currently the top-selling brand in the outdoor jacket market in South Africa and the first African manufacturer to use sew-free technology in the manufacturing of technical clothing. Between 2002 and 2012, the clothing and textile industry suffered job losses as a result of cheap imports, poor training, and a lack of investment by companies. The industry has shrunk by 20% in the past 3 years, and job losses were estimated at 29,500 between 2007 and 2010. In 2005, Bobby Fairlam, the newly appointed general manager, decided to implement a system known as lean manufacturing, also known as the Toyota way of manufacturing. Between 2007 and 2009, the Department of Trade and Industry introduced new incentives for the clothing and textile industry, called the Production Incentive Program and the Competitiveness Improvement Program. These programs injected much-needed capital equipment funding into the industry and enabled K-Way to purchase new state-of-the-art machines and equipment. Productivity South Africa is currently assisting K-Way through its Turnaround Solutions program in taking lean to the next level. As a result of their productivity initiatives over the period 2012 to 2015, revenue increased by 102%. Profit from operation increased by 20%. Expenses as a percentage of revenue decreased from 10.1% to 9.7%. Machine downtime decreased from 2.1 to 1.6%. Reject rate decreased from 1.9% to 0.45%. Rework rate decreased from 6.5 to 2.5%. And absenteeism decreased from 4 to 3%. Since 2006, K-Way has effectively created employment for an additional 200 breadwinners, which is a 130% growth in staff. K-Way also runs SETA-sponsored learnership programs, whereby they employ and train unemployed staff by giving them the necessary skills and tools to operate. They also have an employee wellness program called Care Policy, which is also SABS accredited. K-Way Pty Limited have indeed set the benchmark for others in the clothing and textile industry to follow. They not only aspire to achieve their vision, they live their values in everything they do. AgriLife Fruit Pty Limited is a black-owned company and strategic partnership between emerging black farmers, AgriLife Trust, VV4 Agri Pty Limited, and other shareholders who, as a cluster of role players in the fruit industry, came together to join their efforts for mutual benefit. The products are sold to local markets and exported to Namibia and Angola. During 2014, AgriLife Fruit received a grant from the Western Cape government in order to buy and install a fruit packing line. The grant was managed by Casidra and amounted to 2.4 million rand and is a registered packing facility with a PHC code and PPE-CB accreditation. Their aim is to expand the packing operations to cover the 10 to 12 months of the calendar year, and in doing so, create 100 sustainable permanent jobs for the benefit of the rural community of Wolseley. Currently, the company has created 58 permanent jobs and 80 temporary jobs. The project is constantly improving productivity, and as a result of the project initiative over the period 2012 to 2015, profit to revenue ratio increased from 17.4 to 21.5%. EBIT increased from 17.4 to 21.5%. Sales growth increased from 7.1 to 11.9%. and asset value increased from 22.5 million to 33.5 million rand. VV4 was awarded 4-star status according to the National Occupational Safety Association's integrated 5-star system. The VV4 Group is not only a market visionary in their industry, but has created many initiatives to diversify and utilize resources more efficiently and effectively in the agricultural sector. Blenco CC was founded in 1993 by Dudley Rossley and is located in Everite Park, Brackenfell. Blenco acts as the logistics arm of SQM, Sociedad Química y Minera, Chile, in Cape Town, and is responsible for the storage, mix and distribution of SQM products. Blenco offers packaged fertilizers for wholesale, commercial and industrial purposes. Clients include the agricultural, oil field and manufacturing sectors. Customer satisfaction is measured and plays a big role in ensuring that workers are equipped to overcome obstacles and challenges that would otherwise prevent them from reaching their goals. The company has inventory tracking and segregating systems in place, which allows it to offer co-packing services. The company measures quantity packed against machine labor hours, and their production line capacity is 630 bags per hour. With over 14,000 square meters of storage for packaged goods, distribution from their site is easily achieved. As a result of their productivity initiatives over the period 2011 to 2014, turnover increased from 13 to 17 million rand, and staff cost as a percentage of turnover decreased from 20 to 17.5%. The company has a strong root into the community and supports various community organizations and clubs. Some beneficiaries include Aristia Primary School and Brackenfell Rugby Club. Blenco CC established itself as a trusted partner that can deliver quality in accordance with group requirements. They deliver high-quality products in addition to well-balanced nutrition programs that respond to the specific needs of the soil, allowing farmers to produce healthy, quality and abundant crops in order to meet the growing world's food demand.